My name is Lance Matheson, and today's presentation will be on if the Airbus 380 is still viable. Airbus started development of the Airbus 380 in the 1990s. Their goal was to rival the impressive Boeing 747. Against Boeing's advice that even Boeing 747 was too large, Airbus proceeded with the design to build the super jumbo jet. The problem started over 30 years before the project was thought of. Airbus started in the 1960s by combining most of the European aviation companies. The company with almost exclusively built planes using the same A300 framework while continuing to provide upgrades to them. The project began construction in 2000 for the first prototype, the FWWOW. Without realizing that they would be biting off more than they could chew, Airbus made promises that in 2002, the shipment of the Airbus A380 would be sent. As many as 1,000 companies were working on the plane at one time, with over 50 Airbus A380s pre-ordered for 2002. The companies were getting impatient. By the summer of 2006, no planes had been finished. The first Airbus was delivered in 2007 to Singapore Airlines more than 5 years after its promised release date. The international consortia had companies from Spain, Holland, Germany, Britain, and France. Each country was responsible for a part of the plane, and therefore the jet would be pieced together once everything was designed. Airbus had success previously with smaller projects. This led to an underestimation of the project scope for the largest jumbo jet ever produced. The technology was improved, and the company went from hand drawings to using a CAD software called CATIA. For each country operated individually, with certain countries being responsible for massive pieces such as the wings or the cockpit. The European countries were very competitive and nationalistic, causing them to strive to be the best part of the plane. As such, they refused to yield to other countries' changes. Once the design was finished, the plane's construction began. It was quickly realized that many parts were not fitting together properly. With wiring being more than a few centimeters off, the plane was unable to be integrated because it has more than 100,000 wire connections. The complex plane design had to go back to the drawings to figure out what parts could not be integrated. It came down to one extremely small detail that cost the project massive amounts of money and the team years to fix. Although the countries were using the same software, they weren't using the same version. The two versions were CATIA 5 and CATIA 4. Although it seems like just a minor adjustment, the differences made in the two versions of the software were massive. An overhaul of the two was done, and this was a problem that was discovered very early in the process. Even though the differences in the CAD systems was known, it was decided that the process would continue. A simple case of national pride cost the company over $6 billion in development for the use of a different CAD software. The plane was eventually finished and began flying around the world. The plane was flying, and it seemed that the Airbus A380 would continue without any problems. This success was short-lived. Although the plane was an impressive piece of machinery, the market for the plane was not enough. The massive plane could carry up to 600 passengers per flight. With how jumbo this plane was, there was a very small number of airports that could fit the A380. This was a large problem because the plane could not stop in the hubs, so the airlines would not benefit from the aircraft. Another crucial problem that the aircraft suffered was frequency of flight. The market was catered to smaller planes carrying roughly 150 passengers each flight. These planes were able to go across oceans and countries while offering more times of departure and arrival. The jumbo jets were only able to do one flight that was not able to cater to the demands of the market. For example, at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York, a mid-sized jet was able to fly multiple aircraft to London 12 times a day, while the jumbo jet could only fly once. Medium-sized airplanes dominated the industry, and jumbo jets were short-lived. Of the 396 firm orders of the Airbus A380, 119 of the plane's orders were canceled. This was a project that had a 30% cancellation rate, with each plane costing over $500 million, $549 million. The estimated losses from cancellation was $65 billion, With the high cancellation rate and the lack of the jumbo jet market, the Airbus A380 plans to cease production in 2021. Thank you for listening. Here are my references. Have a good day.